Hello and welcome to Wellness After 50. I'm Mrs. Kai, and today we're diving into a topic that every man over 50 should know about: the 6 worst foods that can harm your prostate. Your prostate is small, but it plays a huge role in your health, and unfortunately, it's also vulnerable as we age. Certain foods and drinks may increase your risk of prostate problems, including enlargement and even cancer. In this video, I'll walk you through the key foods to avoid, explain why they can be harmful, and give you practical alternatives that support a healthier, stronger prostate. So, grab a notebook, pay close attention, and let's make some smart choices together to protect your prostate and boost your long-term health. Prostate health is a topic that deserves much more attention than it usually gets. As men age, the risk of developing prostate-related issues rises significantly. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, prostate cancer was the second most common cancer among men in 2019. But cancer is not the only concern. A condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, an enlarged prostate, affects nearly half of men between 51 and 60, and this figure climbs to almost 80% for men over 70, as highlighted by Yale Medicine. Now, let's be clear. Some factors that influence prostate health are completely beyond our control. The American Cancer Society points out that age, family history, and even where you live in the world, geography, play a role. These cannot be changed. However, and this is the empowering part, other risk factors are tied to lifestyle choices. While research is still ongoing, studies suggest that diet, obesity, and exposure to certain chemicals may have a direct or indirect effect on prostate cancer and overall prostate health. Here's the challenge. Scientists don't yet have the full picture. The connection between specific foods and prostate health isn't 100% clear. We know some foods seem to increase risk, but we don't always know why. Even so, there is strong evidence pointing to the fact that what you eat can make a difference. That's where you come in. Unlike your age or genetics, your diet is something you can control every single day. By making conscious choices about what goes on your plate, you may not only lower your risk of prostate problems, but also improve your overall well-being. So, while no one can promise that diet alone will shrink your prostate or guarantee protection from cancer, avoiding certain foods and embracing healthier alternatives is a smart and proactive step. Think of it as investing in your future self. With that in mind, let's dive into 7 foods to avoid for better prostate health and why staying mindful of them could make all the difference. Why too much red meat can be a problem. Let's start with one of the biggest staples in the American diet: beef. From juicy steaks to burgers on the grill, it's everywhere. But here's the catch. Eating too much of it could spell trouble for your prostate. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has classified red meat as probably carcinogenic to humans. That doesn't mean every bite of steak will cause cancer, but it does mean there is enough scientific evidence to raise concern. In fact, a comprehensive review published in the journal Frontiers in Nutrition highlighted an important pattern. The more red meat men consume, the higher their risk of developing prostate cancer. Researchers are still studying the exact why, but the link is strong enough to pay attention. Beef in particular is at the center of this issue. It's not only the most consumed red meat in the United States, but also the second most popular animal protein after chicken. That makes it a big player in the average diet. So, what's the takeaway? You don't necessarily need to eliminate beef entirely if you love it, but cutting back can be a smart step for your prostate health. Think of it as swapping out a few beef-based meals each week for healthier protein options, like fish rich in omega-3s, beans, or lentils. These foods are not only easier on your prostate, but also better for your heart and overall health. Red meats: veal, lamb, and more. When we talk about red meat, it's not just beef that raises concerns. Veal, lamb, mutton, goat, and pretty much any meat that comes from mammals fall into the same category. That means if it doesn't come from a bird or a fish, chances are it's considered red meat. So why does this matter for your prostate health? Similar to beef, these meats are often high in saturated fats. Over time, diets rich in saturated fats can fuel inflammation and hormonal imbalances, both of which may play a role in the development or progression of prostate problems. Some research also suggests that cooking these meats at high temperatures, think grilling, barbecuing, or pan frying, can produce carcinogenic compounds like heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These substances may further increase the risk of cancers, including prostate cancer. And let's not forget, lamb and mutton, while flavorful and traditional in many cuisines, are often prepared in rich, fatty dishes that put additional strain on heart health and metabolism, two factors closely tied to prostate well-being. So what to do instead? You don't need to eliminate these meats entirely, but treating them as occasional treats rather than everyday staples is a smart move. Try replacing some of these meals with poultry, like chicken or turkey, leaner and lower in saturated fats. Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, which are rich in prostate-friendly omega-3s. Plant-based proteins such as beans, lentils, and tofu, which provide fiber and protective phytonutrients.
Processed meats, a serious red flag for prostate health. If there's one category of food that keeps showing up on the worst for your health list, it's processed meat. We're talking about things like hot dogs, sausages, bacon, salami, pepperoni, and deli meats. Basically, any meat that has been smoked, cured, salted, or treated with chemical preservatives to enhance flavor or extend shelf life. The problem? These products are often loaded with saturated fats, sodium, and nitrates. When consumed regularly, they don't just stress your heart and blood vessels, they can also harm your prostate. In fact, the same research review published in Frontiers in Nutrition that flagged red meat also pointed to a clear connection between processed meats and higher prostate cancer risk. And the danger isn't only in the meat itself. The preservation and cooking methods used, like smoking and high-temperature grilling, can produce carcinogen compounds that put your cells under additional stress. Idea? What's the better choice? If sandwiches, breakfast meats, or barbecue favorites are part of your routine, consider some healthier swaps. Replace deli meats with grilled chicken breast, turkey, or tuna. Swap out sausages and hot dogs for lean poultry sausages or plant-based versions made with beans or lentils. Use hummus, avocado, or roasted vegetables as flavorful fillers instead of processed cold cuts.
Alcohol is often underestimated when it comes to health risks, but the truth is, it can be a serious threat to your prostate. A study published in the peer-reviewed journal Biomolecules found a strong connection between alcohol consumption and prostate cancer. Researchers are still uncovering the exact biological mechanisms, but the conclusion is already clear. The more you drink, the higher your risk. And it doesn't stop there. Alcohol also harms your body in ways that indirectly affect your prostate. It weakens your immune system, reducing your body's natural defenses. It triggers inflammation, a key driver behind both prostate enlargement, BPH, and cancer. It contributes to obesity and hormone imbalances, two major risk factors for prostate problems. What's the better choice? The safest approach is to limit alcohol and eliminate it completely. This gives your prostate a strong chance to recover and also improves sleep, boosts energy, and supports long-term health. Healthier alternatives like sparkling water with lemon, herbal teas, or natural smoothies can give you refreshment without the risks. Dairy, milk, cheese, and ice cream under the microscope. Dairy has long been marketed as a cornerstone of a healthy diet. Strong bones, plenty of calcium, and essential protein. But when it comes to prostate health, dairy might not be as innocent as it looks. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found a positive link between high dairy intake and increased prostate cancer risk. The foods most associated with this connection were milk, hard cheeses, and ice cream. While the study didn't include every single dairy product, the evidence raises enough concern to make us pay attention. So, what's the possible issue here? Researchers suggest a few explanations. Hormones naturally present in milk may influence prostate growth. High levels of calcium could interfere with vitamin D activity, which normally helps protect against cancer development. Many dairy products are also high in saturated fats, which contribute to inflammation and metabolic stress, both harmful for the prostate. What's the smarter approach? You don't necessarily need to quit dairy completely, but moderation is key. Try to reduce your intake of the most problematic forms, whole milk, hard cheeses, and ice cream, and explore healthier alternatives. Switch to plant-based milks like almond, oat, or soy. Replace hard cheeses with lighter options such as cottage cheese or plant-based cheese in moderation. Satisfy your sweet cravings with frozen fruit smoothies instead of ice cream. Dairy may be comforting and familiar, but too much of it could raise your prostate cancer risk. Cutting back and reaching for plant-based or lighter alternatives is a proactive way to protect your prostate and overall health. And that's a wrap. We've covered the 6 foods that can put your prostate at risk, from red and processed meats to alcohol, high-fat dairy, and more. Remember, it's not about fear. It's about taking control. By making simple dietary adjustments, choosing healthier alternatives, and being mindful of what goes on your plate, you can protect your prostate, improve your energy, and support your overall wellness. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with the men in your life. Your health is your most valuable asset, and it's never too late to start making smarter choices. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and take care of your prostate.